let's just sew whatever.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to be making the Aries crossbody into a wristlet. I have a video turning the Aries into a clear wristlet, and that's kind of inspired by Shannon's adaptations, but now I'm going to be following a little more closely how she originally made her Aries wristlet. However, I am going to be adding card slots inside. So I'm going to start by cutting out my exterior vinyl. I don't think I'm going to add any interfacing. I think the lining fabrics are going to be enough. I'm using a mid-weight luxe vinyl. This is my own fabric design, not one I sell the fabric of, but I sell finished products with it. So for the interior, I am going to be using a bunch of square measurements. There will be no pattern for this, so you're just going to have to take notes. You will need to purchase the Aries crossbody to be able to make and get this shape. I'm also using templates from that template shop, and you would have to purchase the pattern to be able to get the templates. I think I'm going to cut a little wristlet strap. So I'm going to cut this to 2 by 14. Normally I use pre-made wristlet straps that I have on my website, but I'm like, well, that could be fun. So a 2-inch wide strap will yield a 1/2 inch wide, or I should say a 2-inch cut strap will yield a 1/2 inch wide strap. So I'm just going to tape straight down the center, and that'll be ready when I get to my machine. And another thing I can do while I'm here with this is I know I'm going to be adding a zipper to this edge, so I can add double-sided tape while I'm here. All of the double-sided tape that I'm using is available on my website, and it is originally from Weft and Warp Co. Okay. So there's those pieces, and then I'm trying to think if I want to put a D-ring in the side seam, or if I want to do kind of like Nicole does on some of hers, where she rivets through with a D-ring. But I think I'll just do a little D-ring tab in the side seam. So I'm going to cut this to 1 inch by 3 inches. And this will just be a single fold, not a double fold. I've just done quite a bit of math, and the pieces that we're going to be cutting to create the lining are going to be sectioned together, and then we're going to use our template piece to then cut out the entire thing again so that it's the exact same size. So for the card slots, I'm going to do 8 inches wide by 28 inches tall, which is much bigger than I actually need it to be, but I just want to have that measurement. I'm going to cut 4 pieces that are 3 inches wide by 7 inches tall, and that's going to be the ends of our card slots and our slip pocket. And then for the slip pocket piece, we want a 6.5 inches tall by 8 inches wide, and then an 8 by 8 piece to create a little folded slip pocket. I'm going to be using water-resistant canvas for the entire lining with no interfacing at all. I don't want this to be super bulky or thick, and water-resistant canvas will ensure that it is not. So the two rulers I'm going to be using to cut this are my 8 by 8.5 and then my 8 by 24. It'll get me where I need to be so that I can just lay this 8 by 24 here. And then I can set my 8. Yeah. And then I can just cut this off at 4 instead of like moving the ruler down or anything. So again, this card slot section might actually be way longer than I need it to be, but I would rather cut off excess. And I'm going to essentially use like the NCW necessary clutch wallet pattern for folding the card slots. So I'm not going to be giving any of those measurements because it just feels wrong to share that proprietary information that is not mine to share. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's half. Got it. There we go. If it's a little bit longer, that's not going to hurt. We would rather it be bigger and trim it down, but anyway. Same for these end pieces. If you want to cut them to 3 by 8, it is not going to hurt anything. I'm just going to do that because I don't have to think about it. It's just the size of the ruler. Because we're going to be, again, cutting it all down anyway. We could even cut an 8 by 6 and then cut that in half. So these are my ends. That's my card slots. And now I need my slip pocket pieces, which again are 6.5 by 8. So I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.5 by 8. This is the back of that panel, and then we're going to put a slip pocket on top, and that's going to be 8 by 8. And even if you just wanted to add a little slip pocket, you could do that. You could even adapt something like this to make a slip pocket inside. So that's what this is going to look like. So we'll top stitch this, and then these are the little end pieces that we're going to sew over top of it. And we're going to use like a 3/8 inch seam allowance for all of that. So I'll clip this together, and it's kind of how the Catalina comes together, which I didn't even really think about being the case. So with the card slots, we could attempt to fold these in a way that there is like a slip pocket, and then start our card slots here. And so I have a card slot template tool from Carolina Little Stitches that I can use to kind of adapt to make whatever size I need it to be. And honestly, I feel like I've made so many card slots. Okay, that is my back one. All right, that's a little tall. And so with that card slot template tool, it has all the lines you need. Okay. Okay. Awesome. I feel like this is also pretty similar to maybe a KR Threads pattern, but you know, after a while you just kind of learn how to make certain things and it works. Okay. So that looks good. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 card slots and a slip pocket, which I think honestly is pretty generous, but we could make more. We would just want to make sure that we're within 7 inches, honestly 6 inches, because of the swoop. So I'm going to line this up at 7, but our card slots need to be within the 6. This seems good. I've got like 1.5 inches from the top for those card slots. I feel like I still have room to do another set. Okay, that seems good. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 6 card slots and a big slip to work with here. And so basically the way we're going to sew this together is we're going to top stitch all 4 tops. 1, 2, 3, 4, separating. And then we'll lay this down and top stitch through to create those card slots, and then fold it back up and add our sides on either side. Might even move that up a little bit so that when I cut my swoop, I'm not going too close to the card slots. So just to give an idea of folds, I folded this at about 5 3/8. So if you were to measure down 5 3/8, we'd then fold up all of that and work our folds in. Okay. So I realize that's not the most explanative, but I will go over it a little bit more when we're sewing it together as well. I just don't want to give out measurements that kind of are proprietary because they're not patterns that, I created. But that's it. We're done. We're done cutting it out. We need zipper and a little zipper end. Let me cut that super quick. But we're going to be folding one end of the zipper at a 90-degree angle on the top, and then the back side we'll add a little zipper tab. Oh, that'll be precious. So I'm going to do a 1 inch by 1 1/4. You can cut it a little wider if you want. And this is raw edge, so you may want to hit it with a lighter or edge coat, or like Nicole from Sonar does on her raw edge fabric. She does a little bit of like Mod Podge or glue just to seal it. But that is it for cutting out the Aries wristlet. I will hope to see you. I hope that you will cut one out and join me next week when we put it all together. Bye.